Hello, and welcome to another episode from the desk of a Navy wife, where you may or may not hear my kiddos in the background. My name is Raina Worthy, and on this podcast, we like to dive deep into the unique challenges, triumphs, and experiences that come with being a military spouse. So kick back, relax, make that cup of coffee, or get that evening dinner ready, and just listen to me in the background. Hi, everyone. I am so excited today. I am joined by Heather Jones. She has a life coaching business, but I love for her to sit here and share her insights with us, not only on entrepreneurship from a lens of a life coach, but also her business with us all. So, Heather, can you please share with us a little bit about you and your military spouse journey, and then also your business and what it offers?
Yes, thank you first of all for having me. I really appreciate you inviting me on as a guest. Okay, so let me see if I can cover all the things you just mentioned personally quick, because I always feel like that's the most important for me. So, I'm happily married to the same man I've been with for, I want to say we're coming up on 20 years.
Ooh,
Yeah,
congratulations.
thank you. We met while we were both serving in the Army. So that's a little bit of my history. We have two beautiful kids. One is 12 and one is right at the brink of turning 10. House full of pets. Not the most we've ever had, but we have a handful right now. And
Yeah.
I love animals. So that's a big piece of me. Professionally, I have been an entrepreneur since 2018, although I did not start as a life coach. I started with Etsy shops. So I did handmade
Okay.
goods when I first entered into the entrepreneurial world. Did that for a good few years, good few. That very, very indirectly led into life coaching, which is where I am now. I have been a certified life coach for let's see, over 4 years now, officially
Okay.
certified for just under four, but coaching for
Oh,
over four now, almost 4.5 years. And I specifically found that I love to coach military spouses on growing their business and family and navigating the military life amongst all those other things. So, kind of helping them find their balance and flow with a really heavy emphasis, though, on business growth.
thank you so much for sharing. I'm glad that you saw something that we needed as military spouses, because many of us, and we'll talk about that. We have to pack up, we have to move, and maybe we're working on our skill set and creating a business from there. So I am gonna start with my questions that I'm thinking of right now is what are some unique challenges that you've noticed as a military spouse or that military spouse's face when they have to transition into that entrepreneurship journey, and how have you overcame them, or how should they overcome them?
So transitioning into entrepreneurship.
So
So
transitioning into it, they're newbies to
yeah,
this world.
okay. So for me, the for what I believe is the obvious answer. And I don't mean obvious to everybody. The thing that
Right.
immediately smacks me upside the head is it is the identity shift. It was that for me, and the more I listen to other military spouses on this similar journey speak, it's especially if they were already a stay-at-home mom.
Hmm.
Right? It's going from running and managing a household and all the things that go with being a homemaker and a mom in the mix, right? So managing everybody's schedule, attending to all of the chores and the errands and all of the responsibilities of the household, right? That most of us take on. I'm making big assumptions here. I know not everybody takes on the same things,
Right.
but anyways, generally, right? Those things that we do day in and day out, and then suddenly throw a business into the mix. And you have to switch the mindset from, I am responsible for doing every single thing in the house to, I am running a business and it deserves my focus. It is a thing that fills my cup and I get to claim this for me. It deserves my focus, right? And not feeling guilty about that and wanting to fall back into, yeah, but after all of the other stuff is taken care of.
Yes. I'm so glad you touched on that, because it is that guilty side. And I can definitely attest to that. Like feeling like, oh my goodness, is it too much time that I'm spending on my business? Did I build the schedule out correctly? And ultimately, I feel like many of our goals is family time, right? That's the end goal, having more time with family. But then you feel like as you're starting this entrepreneurship journey, you might have less family time if you're newer to it. So I'm glad that you really touched on a big challenge for sure. So my follow-up would be, what would you recommend to a military spouse that is wanting to balance that demand of being a military spouse, being a mom if they have little ones, and then starting to run that business of theirs?
So, oh wow, that's a great question. I'll try to
Yeah.
keep it kind of surface level as much as I'm able to. It's really
Okay.
not in me to not go deep, but I'm going to try. So the first thing that I would suggest is you have to give yourself permission to claim that you get to do this. It's not, unless you want it to be, right? It's not a side hustle. It's not a cute little endeavor that you're trying. Again, unless you want it to be, that's entirely your choice. But if what you really want is to build a business that really means something, that really does something, that is scalable, that, sets all sorts of records for you and what you want to do as a woman and a business owner, you have to give yourself permission to be in that identity as well as the other, not after, if, right? If there's space. No, it's she gets to be forefront too. Businesswoman, you gets to be forefront too. Entrepreneur, you gets to be forefront too. You have to give yourself that permission. And the other thing is, and I'm saving this for a second because it's not going to align with everybody. It really depends on if you are a mom and if you have kids, what
Mhm.
age your kids are. So I started my businesses when one of my kids was still home with me. My other one was kindergarten, but the little one was still home with me. And so my schedule was wild. It was what I think a lot of people's look like is get it where you can fit it,
Mhm.
right? You plug in little bits of time here and there in your business wherever you can manage. And if that's what that phase of your life looks like, okay, I can help make it easier for you. But okay, there's not a magic wand that's going to make that different.
Right.
That said, set yourself up in your business from the beginning where business time is business time, right? I have work hours. They are during my kids' school day so that in the morning when I wake my daughter up, it's about me and her. I've already had a little bit of me time before that, so I'm
Right.
grounded, right?
Okay, so
I
you're up
highly
early.
recommend that. If you can get up early, I know some people are like, absolutely not. But if you can get up early, have a little bit of you time, but then as you go into your morning, be with your family, not checking emails, not worrying about what the workday is going to look like. You will get to that and it will have its moment and it will get your full focus. You're honoring that when you can give it your full focus, but when you're with family, it's about them. And then when you do go into your workday, same thing. You're not feeling guilty about being at work because you've given that time to your family. When my kids get out of school, I'm back to family time and I have fulfilled my obligations as a business owner and I have filled my own cup with the things that I love to do as a business owner. So when it's time for family, it's time for family. Work is tomorrow. I
Yeah.
come back to it tomorrow. That's probably, I know that's not going to align with everybody and I get it. I
Right.
respect it. Do take what suits you and throw the rest out.
Right.
But if that suits you, if you know you want family time to be family time and you don't want your business flowing into that, be intentional about setting that up at the beginning because it's so much harder to shift later.
No, I agree 100% with that because I think being sure that you schedule, like you said, family time. Hey, I have time with my daughter, and then we have family time after I'm done with my work. It's like, in my eyes, equivalent to anyone that may potentially be in a 9 to 5, right? You're away
Yeah.
from your family during a set block, and then you're back to having family time. And for me, it has been like a challenge in the beginning. I'm starting to get my footing a little bit more. So I have a set time where it's okay, we go to the park once we pick our daughter up from school, and then that's the set block where we
Yeah.
can talk, or I can catch up with my husband and be able to play with the kids or watch the kids at the park. And so that's like our family devoted time. And same with dinner. Like, right? If you're doing dinner, you want to be able to focus on dinner and eating with
Mhm.
everyone versus working. So
Yeah.
I guess my question, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but my follow up would be, what mindset do you think a military spouse needs to have from the beginning if she wants to really be successful in this? Yeah.
And there's no such thing. I really am telling you, there's no such thing as surface level questions. But the mindset really isn't a surface level, is it? I think there's not just one. Honestly, I can't give you one answer. I would say growth. If I had to
Yeah.
say one, it would be growth because I think that encompasses so much. You have to have a growth mindset, meaning you've got to be flexible. You have to see failures as opportunities to learn and pick yourself up and move forward again. Everything that you do is an opportunity to learn from it, to build from it. So, yes, if I have to narrow it down to one, which you're twisting my arm here, but I would say
I know.
growth mindset.
Okay. And so with that, because many of us do as military spouses, we are able to adapt, we're able to adjust.
Mhm.
That's a skill set of ours, right? We're picking up, we're moving every few years. So how can we leverage that experience as a spouse to give our business a unique perspective or edge?
Mm, great question. So, you being a military spouse makes you unique to begin with. Your journey, your stories, your life experience, all of the exploration on all of the things that you encounter in military life, those are what make you unique. And everybody has them in every, just outside of military spouses, right? We all have them in our life. But
Right.
in your journey, you're going to do things that other people are not going to do and they're not going to see. And if you're surrounded by other military spouses, it can feel like, oh, yeah, the next person has been there, done that
Right.
because many of us are on a similar journey. But when you look outside of our community and in different communities, they're in awe of our experience. I cannot tell you how many times I've had conversations with non-military affiliated people and their mind is blown over the simplest things. Like, I didn't know that was a thing for you all. I had
Uh-huh.
no idea, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And so we take for granted, yeah, that's just, it's military life, no big deal. It is a big deal. It is what makes you unique. If there is a way to put it into your business, if it feels trivial to you, do it anyways and see what the outcome is. I bet you'd be surprised.
Yeah. It's definitely surprised. And
Yeah.
I think with you saying talking to people and not realizing it is something, if we're constantly surrounded by this military spouse community, it's not a second thought. It's like, yeah, every 3 years I'm
It's
used to it,
normal
been there,
life.
done that. Yeah. And they're
Right.
like, what? You have to uproot everything? Who moves you? What do you do with all your things? So
Yes.
even something as simple as that. But I think for us as spouses, like we're great at problem solving as well. Like
Mhm.
we'll handle it right then and there, or we'll make the calls, or we'll schedule. And so maybe using that to our advantage
But
will
we are
help.
resilient. We are so many amazing things.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So with that, how can we stay motivated with that uncertainty of military life, such as deployments and relocations, and how it impacts our business plans and goals?
So motivation is like you've just got to do the thing sometimes,
Yeah,
right? I really don't necessarily think that there's like a special key ingredient that's going to go, oh, there's my spark of motivation every time you need it. I think there's things that you can dive into, which is like one of them, for example, that comes to mind is your why. You've probably heard a zillion times knowing your why.
right.
Here's my take on that. If you have not gone deep, deep, deep with your why, if you're like, oh, my why is to be financially stable for my family, what I would say to that is not a why. That is your foundation for your
Mm,
why, but you need to go deeper. When you get to that emotional stir, how do you know that you've reached it? Like you get emotional, right? I'm going to be honest. Sometimes when I have relayed my why to people around why
mm-hmm,
I chose the community that I chose to support, it will bring me to tears. It will choke me
mm-hmm,
up. I
mm-hmm.
know I found my why, right? So if you get, even if you don't cry, if you get emotional, if you feel that deep stirring, you found your why. And you need to be familiar with it. It needs to be there for you to see, to revisit. So when it is hard on those days where you're like, why am I doing this? What is the value in it? What is the purpose? I just have to start over every time I move. And, things
Right.
are just going to get uprooted and thrown out of whack and all the things. Why bother? If you can look back at your why and be in it and allow that emotional stirring to come to you, that's a really good way to keep your eye on the prize, so to speak. And there's lots of other things you can do. Like during PCS season or deployments, you don't have to go full force. Plan ahead of time. Lean into
Right.
your support system. What can you accomplish and put it on autopilot, right? Have automations set up for yourself. So when the time comes, you don't have to record that YouTube video or that podcast or write that blog or all the content for that launch that you're going to have, a
Right.
month after you get to your new duty station. Put it all together ahead of time. Give yourself that space to be in the moments during PCS and deployment and field time when it is tougher and not have that added pressure of all the business things.
Yes, and especially that move because the stress is already going to be there. Like any way you look, you're going to be dealing with that. So
Yeah.
I love that you said like just like put it in a box for a second, right? And then go on and focus on what you need to and then come back to it or pre-plan. So
Yeah.
you did touch on leaning into your community. Can you share what resources or networks and communities are available to us as military spouses that can help us succeed in this entrepreneurship journey?
I would love to. And I know this is your jam too.
Oh
So,
yeah.
some of my absolute favorite resources for military spouses who have businesses are There's two communities that come immediately to mind. There's the Association for Military Spouse Entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
We call it AMSE, AMSE. That is a community that exists. It was founded for military spouses to bring us all together and to offer us. So inside that community, it's loaded with resources,
Yes.
right? And so that's my favorite place to be with other military spouses who are on this journey. And then we even have inside that community local chapters. So I run a local chapter actually here in Huntsville, Alabama. So there's a number of them around not just the country, but the globe.
Hmm.
And then the other one that I would say that really stands out to me is the Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce, which is also it's a resource itself because there's community, but it's also loaded with resources that are available to us. If we actually have employees, we have team members, we have the ability to have education benefits for them through that. There's the opportunity to carry different types of insurance for your employees through that. So, all these things that a lot of business owners, especially like micro business owners, don't usually have available to provide to employees, we do through the Military Spouse Chamber.
Oh,
So,
wow. Yeah, I think I
yeah.
know like a little bit about because I did join those organizations at the beginning, but I don't think I've delved really deep into the Chamber of Commerce side of it and all the resources and everything that's
Oh,
available.
there's so
So
many resources
there's some.
inside of both of those communities. So you get the community, right? You get the
Mhm.
support and the camaraderie, but you have resources galore that are available to you.
Oh, good to know. I hope everyone's really turning up the volume right
I
now
just
as
want
they're
you
listening.
all to know, I can see it in Arena's face. She's going to deep dive into
Oh
these shows.
yeah, most certainly. And I'm probably going to add it to my site too when I find extra
Oh,
additional links to
oh, you're
add
gonna love
there.
it. Mhm.
Yes. So with that, how can we build, let's say, even if we're starting entrepreneurship, right? We join those organizations or those businesses that exist, but how can we also build our own supportive community with other military spouse entrepreneurs, maybe outside those two, if we want something that's more tangible or in person? And
Yeah.
why do you feel like that's important for our business journey?
So both of those communities actually have, now you're not going to find them at every single duty station.
Right.
The pitfall here. But both of those, and they're separate organizations, so you could join both of them, and they both have their own chapters in different areas of the world. You can search for local chapters. Here's what I'm going to tell. Some of you are going to disregard, and some of you are going to love this, so that's fine. It's out there for whoever wants it. If you do not find a chapter for either one of those organizations and you want one, pull up your big girl panties,
Yeah.
get super courageous, and
Hmm.
start one. That is what
Now,
I did.
okay, so
I
with you
did.
starting one, because I know you said that you're head over there. So when you PCS, would you still be over it or do you hand it off to the next person so they're
No,
local?
you would hand it over to the next
Okay.
person if you could find somebody who wanted to take it over. And there's no, now I can't speak to the Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce. I don't
Right.
run a local chapter for that, but for the Association of Military Spouse Entrepreneurs, I
Hmm.
run the local chapter for that. And you don't have to do it by yourself. Especially if it's a bigger chapter, you're going to want to bring on team members to help you run it.
Right.
I just asked another community member if she would be a co-lead with me because I've been doing it for almost a year by myself now, and I'm ready to have
Wow.
a buddy to do it with. And
Yes.
so anyways, if you're kind of bold and courageous and you're like, if the community doesn't exist and I really, really want it, don't be afraid to start it. Reach out to the founder. And that particular one is her name is Moni and she's amazing. So you will love her. But and just let her know, like, we don't have a local chapter. I want to start one. How could I do that? And she will get the ball rolling immediately for you. The other thing I would say is pretty much every area you look, you're going to find a Facebook page for that area. Most military
True.
installations have a Facebook page. And what you can do is just get on there and go, hey, I want to connect some military spouses. Who's in the area? Who's up for a coffee chat or, a coffee meetup or something like that. I know that's a lot. I know that is a lot for some people. People who are
Yeah.
introverted are probably like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So you've got
But
to do
those
it at
that
your
are,
pace. That's
yes.
okay. But if you want an in person, those are a few options that are available to you.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing that. I think with you pointing out those two because we're both in those
Mhm.
organizations and for our listeners that is where I met Heather, so it goes to
Yes.
show us building our network, getting to know each other on our business level but also as a personal level and supporting one another as military spouses. So
Mhm.
thank you again, Heather, for joining me today and
My
giving us some
pleasure.
insight from your perspective and how you go about helping military spouses that are starting their entrepreneurship journey. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners before we go?
So I have a free workshop available. At the surface, it's a goal setting workshop. Here's what
Hmm.
you get. You visit all of your dreams that you have for your business and figure out how to align them with your life. And like we dream big in this. We don't play small in this workshop. We dream big, huge, bodacious dreams. And the most important part is you implement them on the spot. So,
Oh,
yeah, so it's not just great for people who are starting businesses, but people who are growing in their business and maybe have been kind of stuck. You literally have the steps, the very next step to take in your business to move forward, to start building that momentum for the first time or again. And it's a 3-hour workshop. I run them right now, it's monthly. But I
okay.
think that's going to be switching. So don't sleep on it. Come join us.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Dream Define Do Workshop.
Okay. The Dream Define Do workshop. All right, thank you. I'll definitely have to check that out. I would love to experience it, share, write a blog post on it as well if I'm able. And I will be sure to add that in my description as well. So you can share your link and I'll plug that in there too.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, thank you again for joining me today. I really do appreciate your time. And I hope that you all that are listening have been able to take some nuggets with you before you go. And if you are listening in the car, be sure to come back and listen again if you need to take some more notes where once you are settled. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all again for tuning in this week. I look forward to bringing you resources, support, and laughter. Sending my love from the desk of a Navy wife.